A low murmur spread through the audience. Jin noticed several students leaning toward each other, whispering questions and comments. Lyra, the small blue student who had asked about human laughter, raised her hand again. Is it true that humans celebrate after surviving disasters? That seems strange. Mina smiled. We celebrate life, especially when we're reminded how precious it is. After earthquakes or storms, communities often come together. We share food, stories, and help each other rebuild. But aren't you sad about what you lost? Asked another student. Of course, Sue answered. We grieve our losses deeply, but then we move forward. We remember the past while building the future. As more questions came, Jin realized something important was happening. The questions weren't about human strength or aggression anymore. They were about resilience, cooperation, and hope. After the formal session ended, several students approached, the humans rather than rushing away as they usually did. Vex, who had once spread fearful rumors about them, now stood nervously before Jin. Your presentation was enlightening, Vex said, scales shifting color slightly with emotion. I have questions about human cooperation if you would be willing to discuss it further. Of course, Jin replied, surprised by the change. Over the following days, the humans noticed other changes. In the dining hall, alien students no longer moved away when they approached. Some even invited them to join their tables. In class, their comments were met with interest rather than fear. One morning, Jin arrived at his workstation to find a message from Professor Tal requesting a meeting with all the human students. When they gathered in the professor's office, they found not just Tal but several other faculty members and the blue administrator, Kel. The Academy has approved more human students for next term, Professor Tal announced to their surprise. And more surprisingly, we have received applications from non-human students wishing to visit Earth. Visit Earth? Hoon repeated in disbelief. But I thought everyone was terrified of our Deathworld. Perspectives are changing, Kel admitted, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. Your presentation has sparked considerable interest in human adaptability and social structures. One of the other professors, a floating gelatinous being, moved forward slightly. Many species have eliminated challenges through technology or genetic modification. We've created safe, controlled environments. But now we face a galaxy full of unknowns. Perhaps there are lessons to be learned from those who embrace challenge rather than eliminate it. A week later, Jin was surprised when Lyra approached him in the research center. I've been studying human history, Lyra said. You face so many disasters, wars, and diseases, yet you keep making art, music, and poetry. How do you maintain hope? Jin thought carefully before answering. Hope isn't about believing nothing bad will happen. It's about believing something good can happen even after the bad things. Earth taught us that. On the last day of the term, the Academy held a cultural exchange event. Jin and Mina were amazed to see a small table labeled Earth Foods with simple items they had replicated. Bread, cheese, and apple slices. Several curious alien students were cautiously tasting them. They're trying our food, Mina whispered in disbelief. Last month they thought we might eat them. Sue joined them, smiling. And look at the bulletin board. On the Academy's announcement screen, a new notice appeared. Earth Exchange Program. Applications open. Experience a Class 12 world under supervised conditions. Learn resilience, cooperation, and adaptation. I still can't believe it, Hoon said, joining the group. They want to learn from us now. Later that evening, as the station's lights dimmed to simulate night, the 4 humans gathered in their common room in Section D. Jin noticed that the heavy reinforced door, once locked from the outside, now stood open. You know what's strange? Mina said softly. When we arrived, I was so focused on making them understand Earth. I never expected to understand it better myself. Jin nodded. We had to see Earth through their eyes to truly see what makes humans different. Not our strength or our endurance, but our ability to face challenges together. Sue raised a cup in toast. To Earth, not just a death world, but a world that taught its children to face death with life. They touched their cups together, 4 humans from a distant blue planet. No longer aliens, but ambassadors of a misunderstood world. A world that had prepared them not just to survive the universe, but to embrace it, with all its dangers and wonders. Our movements confident despite the stares from alien students. She approached Jin and Mina. "I'm Sue," she said, extending her hand. "Just transferred in. They told me other humans were presenting today and I thought you might need another voice. We don't even know you," Jin said, surprised. Sue smiled. "But we're all from Earth. That means something out here, doesn't it?" Professor Tal moved to the center of the stage, raising all 4 arms for silence. "Today we conclude our homeworld presentations. We've traveled from the crystal forests of Zeloria to the floating cities of Aqualis. Now we turn to a world many find fascinating and frightening. Earth." A ripple of murmurs spread through the audience. Jin noticed several students shifting in their seats. "Presenting on Earth we have Jin, Mina, and..." Professor Tal checked the roster. "A late addition. Sue, you may begin." Jin stepped forward, feeling the weight of every alien gaze. Behind him, the screen showed a simple image of Earth from space, blue and beautiful. "Earth is classified as a death world," Jin began. "But to us, it's simply home." The image changed to show a series of landscapes, mountains, forests, deserts, and oceans. "Earth is diverse," Mina continued. "Like its people. We've adapted to live in almost every environment our planet offers." Sue stepped forward. "But Earth can be dangerous. This is what you've all heard about." The images shifted to show natural disasters. Hurricanes swirling from space, volcanoes erupting, floods sweeping through cities. Jin heard gasps from the audience. "These events are part of our reality," Jin explained. "But they're not the whole story." The screen changed again, showing humans responding to disasters. Rescue workers pulling people from rubble, medical teams treating injured, communities rebuilding homes. "When disaster strikes," Mina said, "humans don't face it alone. We help each other." A small blue student, Lyra, raised a trembling hand. "Is it true humans can survive having parts of their bodies destroyed?" Sue smiled. "We call it healing. Yes, we can recover from many injuries." She rolled up her sleeve to reveal a long scar on her arm. 2 years ago I fell while climbing a mountain. My bone broke through my skin. Several students made sounds of distress. "But look," Sue continued, moving her arm normally. "Our bodies rebuild themselves, we adapt, we heal." Jin advanced to the next images, showing human cities rebuilt after earthquakes, forests regrowing after fires. "Like our bodies, our communities heal too," he explained. "Earth taught us that destruction isn't the end. It's just a challenge to overcome." Vex, the purple-scaled student who had spread rumors about them, spoke up. "But doesn't living in constant danger make you aggressive? Ready to attack?" Jin took a deep breath. This was the heart of their misunderstanding. "Earth didn't make us warriors," he said. "It made us helpers." The screen showed rescue teams, firefighters, doctors, and ordinary people assisting others during crises. "On a dangerous world," Mina explained, "the best survival strategy isn't to fight everyone. It's to work together, to share resources, to protect each other." Jin noticed the expressions in the audience shifting from fear to curiosity. Sue stepped forward again. 3 years ago, I was caught in a flood. The water rose so fast many people were trapped. The room grew completely silent as Sue described how strangers formed human chains to rescue people from raging waters. "I didn't know any of them," she concluded. "But they risked their lives for me, and I would do the same for them. That's what Earth taught us. We're stronger together than alone." Jin advanced to their final slides, showing Earth's history. Early human settlements, growing cities, space exploration. "Earth's challenges didn't make us monsters," Jin said. "They taught us to innovate, to cooperate, and to care for each other. We don't just endure," Mina added. "We learn from every obstacle." For their conclusion, they showed a simple video. Children from different human cultures playing together, laughing despite their differences. This is the true lesson of Earth, Jin said. Not just how to survive, but how to live. Not just how to endure hardship, but how to find joy despite it. As the presentation ended, the amphitheater remained silent. Jin felt sweat on his forehead, wondering if they had failed to connect. Then slowly, Lyra raised her hand again. "Is it true," she asked, her voice small but curious, "that humans laugh when they're afraid?" Sue smiled. "Sometimes. It helps us cope." "I would like to learn more about that," Lyra said, and with those simple words, Jin knew something had changed. The silence after their presentation stretched for what felt like hours. Jin, Mina, and Sue stood on the stage waiting for a reaction. Jin could hear his own heartbeat in his ears as the alien students stared at them with unreadable expressions. Finally, Professor Tal moved to the center of the stage. "I believe," the professor said slowly, antennae flickering with emotion, "we have misunderstood Earth. It is not merely a death world. It is a teacher." "That Earth isn't just danger and death," Mina replied. "It's cooperation and creativity too. Humans aren't strong because we're monsters. We're strong because we help each other." That evening, they returned to Section D to find a small package outside their door. Inside was a protective helmet with a note. "For your safety in case of emotional overload. Management." Jin held up the helmet, its meaning clear. The station believed humans were unstable, prone to violence when upset. "Now, I'm really motivated," he said, tossing the helmet aside. "Our presentation won't just tell them about Earth. It will show them who humans really are." Mina nodded, determined. "They think our world made us dangerous. Let's show them how it made us human instead." Jin sat surrounded by data screens in the Academy's research center, his eyes tired from hours of reading. Each screen showed different aspects of Earth: weather patterns, tectonic activity, disease statistics, and predator-prey relationships. He rubbed his temples, trying to organize his thoughts. "Find anything useful?" Mina asked, sliding into the seat beside him with 2 cups of the blue liquid that passed for coffee on the station. "Too much," Jin sighed. "Looking at Earth through their eyes, I almost understand why they're afraid. Average of 5 major natural disasters yearly, thousands of pathogens, extreme temperature ranges. It does sound harsh." Mina took a sip of her drink and grimaced. "But that's not the whole story. That's what we need to show them." Hoon appeared, carrying a small storage device. "I might have something that can help." He plugged it into the main console and dozens of new files appeared. "I've been collecting testimonials from aliens who have actually visited Earth." Jin opened the first file. A tentacled being appeared on screen, speaking in a translated voice. "My research trip to Earth was supposed to last 1 Earth year. I left after 12 days. The constant gravitational pressure was exhausting, but it was the unpredictability that truly disturbed me. One day, water fell from the sky without warning. The humans called this rain and acted as if it were normal. Despite the seriousness of their task, they all laughed." "Here's another good one," Hoon said, opening another file. A feathered alien with 4 eyes appeared. "The most terrifying aspect of humans is their endurance. I observed a ritual they call a marathon, where they run 42 kilometers for recreation. When I asked why they would punish their bodies this way, one human said it was fun. I left on the next transport." Jin shook his head. "No wonder they think we're crazy." As they continued reviewing files, Professor Tal's slender form appeared beside their workstation. "Making progress with your presentation?" "Yes, Professor," Mina answered. "We're trying to show Earth as it really is, not just its dangers." "I should warn you," Professor Tal said, antennae twitching slightly. "Graphic depictions of Earth conditions have caused panic attacks in previous classes. 3 students needed medical attention after seeing footage of a tsunami." "We're not trying to scare anyone," Jin explained. "We want to show how Earth made us who we are." "That," said Professor Tal, "is precisely what frightens them." After Professor Tal left, Mina opened a new research pathway. "Let's look at other homeworlds. I'm curious about these supposedly peaceful planets. Hours later, Jin found Mina still hunched over a screen, her expression intense. You need to see this, she said. I've been digging into the histories of some Class 1 and Class 2 worlds, the Paradise planets. Their species present themselves as naturally peaceful, but look at Xeraxia. The screen showed a beautiful blue-green world. Vex is from here, Mina continued. Their educational materials claim they've had 10,000 years of peace because of their naturally harmonious nature. But I found buried references to genetic modification performed 6,000 years ago. They literally engineered aggression out of their species. Jin leaned closer. So their peacefulness isn't natural? None of it is, Mina said, showing more files. Lyra's species underwent mandatory neurological pacification. The Xanthe used chemical treatments. They all modified themselves to achieve peace. While humans, Jin began. While we still have our aggression, our fear responses, our survival instincts, but we've learned to channel them, to coexist with them. We didn't take the easy way out. Jin sat back, a realization dawning. That's it. That's what makes humans different. Not that we're stronger or tougher, but that we live with our nature instead of erasing it. We face our challenges instead of engineering them away. Hoon joined them, carrying new data chips. I found something else. Medical records showing human recovery rates compared to other species. He displayed a chart. Humans heal from injuries at rates that seem impossible to most galactic species. Jin stared at the comparison. It's not just physical endurance or adaptability. It's resilience, the ability to get hurt and keep going. That's what Earth taught us, Mina said softly. Not just to avoid danger, but to recover from it, to rebuild after disasters, to help each other heal. As the station's light cycle dimmed, signaling evening, the three humans looked at their collected research with new understanding. Our presentation isn't just about Earth anymore, Jin said. It's about what Earth created in us. Not monsters, but survivors. Not dangerous creatures, but resilient ones. Do you think they'll understand? Hoon asked. Jin gathered their research materials. They have to, because the galaxy doesn't just need peaceful species. It needs those who know how. To face challenges and overcome them, it needs humans, Mina concluded. The amphitheater buzzed with nervous energy as students from 12 different worlds prepared their presentation materials. Jin felt his heart racing as he checked their visuals one last time. Next to him, Mina took deep breaths to calm herself. Do you think they're ready for this? She whispered. Before Jin could answer, the doors at the back of the room slid open. A human woman walked in. Jin stepped through the shimmering blue portal and felt his body grow instantly heavier. The gravity adjustment made him stumble forward, catching himself just before falling flat on his face. Beside him, Mina took a deep breath, her eyes wide, as she took in the vast domed ceiling of Nexus Station. It's so clean, she whispered. The arrival hall stretched before them, filled with creatures of every imaginable shape and color. Some floated, others crawled, and many walked on various numbers of limbs. Jin and Mina, despite months of preparation videos, couldn't help but stare. Humans? A voice chirped from below. They looked down to see a small green being with 4 arms and large compound eyes holding what appeared to be a tablet. Yes, Jin nodded. Jin, Kim, and Mina Park from Earth. We're the exchange students. The green being's eyes flickered in a pattern Jin couldn't interpret. I am Ziv, third-year student and your guide. Please follow me to processing. As they walked through the crowded hall, Jin noticed how other aliens moved aside, creating a bubble of space around them. Some whispered to each other, pointing with various appendages. Are we that interesting? Mina asked Ziv. You are from Earth, Ziv stated matter-of-factly. A Class 12 Deathworld. Most students here come from Class 3 or below. Jin frowned. Deathworld? Our briefing mentioned that term but didn't explain it. Planets are classified by survival difficulty, Ziv explained. Class 1 is Paradise, Class 12 is... Ziv's voice dropped. Nearly uninhabitable. Earth is considered extremely dangerous. They reached a desk where a blue-skinned administrator with 4 eyes looked up from a screen. Three of his eyes blinked in sequence when he saw them. The humans, he said flatly. I am Kel, Student Affairs Coordinator. Your living quarters are in Section D, the specialized section. Jin and Mina exchanged glances. They hadn't expected segregation. Is Section D far from other students? Mina asked. Kel's upper lip curled slightly. It has reinforced walls and independent life support. For everyone's safety, Jin felt his face grow hot. We're not dangerous. Perhaps not intentionally, Kel replied, sliding 2 identification cards across the desk. Your class schedule begins tomorrow with Professor Tal's comparative biology. The term project involves presenting about your homeworld. As they followed Ziv toward Section D, they passed the main dining hall. Several students inside stopped eating to stare. Why are they looking at us like that? Jin whispered to Ziv. Many species here have never seen humans except in educational videos, Ziv answered. Those videos focus on Earth's dangers and human resilience. What exactly do they think we are? Mina asked. Ziv hesitated. That you can break bones with your bare hands, that you can survive radiation that would kill most species, that your endurance is frightening. They arrived at Section D, which had a heavy door and a separate air system. Inside were 4 small rooms around a common area. Jin was surprised to see one room already had belongings in it. Another human is here? He asked. Yes. Hoon arrived. Last semester, Ziv confirmed. He keeps to himself mostly. After Ziv left, Jin sat on his bed feeling the strange softness of alien materials. This isn't what I expected, Mina said from her doorway. They're afraid of us. It's ridiculous, Jin replied. Earth isn't some horror show. Later that evening, they met Hoon, a quiet student with tired eyes. It doesn't get better, he warned them. The textbook chapter about Earth is called Evolutionary Anomalies of Deathworld Species. Professor Tal will assign the homeworld presentations tomorrow. Then we'll use our presentation to show them the truth, Mina said firmly. Earth isn't just disasters and danger. Jin nodded, a plan forming in his mind. They think we're monsters because our planet is tough, but they don't understand what Earth really taught us. What's that? Hoon asked. Jin smiled. That strength without compassion means nothing. That surviving alone isn't really surviving at all. That night, Jin looked out his window at the strange stars and thought about home, about rain and sunsets and the sound of waves. Tomorrow they would begin showing their alien classmates that Earth wasn't just a death world. It was a teacher that had shaped humans into something more than survivors. It was time to change the story. Jin and Mina entered Professor Tal's classroom for the first time, immediately aware of the silence that fell as they walked in. The room was arranged in tiered semicircles with workstations adapted for various body types. Professor Tal, a tall being with silvery skin and 4 slender arms, motioned them toward 2 empty stations near the front. Our Earth representatives have arrived, Professor Tal announced, voice melodic and calm. Jin and Mina will join us for the remainder of the term. Jin noticed several students in the back shifting away slightly. One student, a purple-scaled creature with feathery antennae, leaned toward a neighbor and whispered something. The neighbor's eyes widened. Now, Professor Tal continued, as I mentioned yesterday, your major project will be a presentation on your home environment and how it shaped your species' development. Since we have new arrivals, I'll review the expectations. As Professor Tal explained the assignment, Jin opened his tablet to review the class materials. He found the Earth chapter and began reading, his frown deepening with each paragraph. This is all wrong, he whispered to Mina, showing her the screen. They make Earth sound like a horror movie. The chapter described Earth as a planet of extreme environmental hostility, with constant natural disasters and aggressive biodiversity. It claimed humans had developed exceptional damage resistance and alarming endurance capabilities. Mina shook her head in disbelief as she read further. Descriptions of humans as evolutionary anomalies adapted to persistent survival pressure. After class, Jin and Mina lingered in the hallway looking at their schedule. Physical training next, Mina said. Maybe we can make some friends there. The training facility was enormous, with different gravity zones and obstacle courses. The instructor, a stocky orange-skinned alien named Coach Drav, directed the class to run a simple endurance course. 3 circuits, standard gravity, Coach Drav announced. Pace yourselves. Jin and Mina joined the line of students. They watched, as the first few aliens ran the course, moving with various styles, some hopping, others gliding, some using all limbs. Most were breathing heavily by the end of the first circuit. When Jin's turn came, he ran at what felt like an easy pace. By his second circuit, he noticed Coach Drav watching him intently. On his third circuit, he realized he had passed several students who had started before him. Mina finished just behind Jin, barely sweating. They stood together, catching their breath, while many of their classmates were doubled over or using breathing aids. See? The purple-scaled student from earlier, whose name they learned was Vex, pointed at them. They're not even tired, just like the videos said. What videos? Mina asked, approaching Vex. Vex flinched slightly. The educational series about Deathworlders. It showed humans running for days without stopping, fighting through injuries that would kill normal species. That's ridiculous, Jin said. We get tired just like anyone else. Then why aren't you exhausted like the rest of us? Asked a small blue student named Lyra. Before Jin could answer, Coach Drav called the class to the next exercise. Later, in the dining hall, Jin and Mina sat alone until Hoon joined them, carrying a tray of multicolored food cubes. I see you've experienced the Deathworlder effect, Hoon said, noticing their isolation. Is it always like this? Mina asked. It gets worse when they find out what we eat, Hoon replied with a grim smile. Plant and animal matter? Absolutely. Horrifying to most species here. This is crazy, Jin said. They act like we're monsters. Did you know, Hoon lowered his voice, that there's a betting pool on which of us will snap first and go on a rampage? Mina nearly choked on her food. That's insane, we're just students. From a planet they've been taught to fear, Hoon reminded them. I tried correcting misconceptions when I first arrived, but gave up. It's easier to keep quiet. Jin watched, as a group of students at another table glanced their way, then quickly looked down when he met their eyes. We can't let this continue, Jin said. Our presentation has to show them the truth about Earth. And what is that truth? Hoon asked.